Hi, this is grandson Alex filling in for Bill for July 21st, 2025. He's still on his trip to Canada. And again, the disclaimer Bill is on vacation. This show is produced by his amateur relatives and should not be taken seriously by anyone. This means you, viewers. Here's the NOAA camera of the Muskegon Channel. Again, kind of cloudy, but still waters it looks, which is pretty nice. And we want to thank our affiliate viewers of the Ottawa News Network, and we thank them for their support. And this is Holland from that street corner that had the sunset that Grandpa liked. Nice area. And as for Bill, he is in Calgary at the moment. Calgary, Alberta, I believe, Canada. The fourth largest city in Canada. 1.3 million, about the population of Grand Rapids metropolitan area. Wait, let me check how much Kent County is. About two Kent counties. Kent County is about 650,000 people, and Calgary is 1.3 million. It was named after Calgary Castle, a castle in Scotland. Colonel James McLeod, a name a meteorologist would love, the commissioner of the Northwest Mounted Police, aka the Mounties, was a frequent guest at the castle in East, just in the name, and there it is to this day. And there's a picture of Bill at the Calgary airport. Got those horse statues right there. And for the headlines, hot weather returns, and it will be sunny and hot for most of the week, and storms will be possible Thursday evening going into Friday. And for today's forecast, we have a high of 80 and a low of 54. It'll be a clear day with few clouds, sunny at the day and mostly clear at night. 50% humidity and winds to the east at 7 miles per hour. And as I said in the last episode, could be worse. And here's a look at the 5-day forecast. Sunny, 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 partly sunny. A high of 80 and a low of 54 on Monday, which goes up to a bit to a high of 83 and a low of 62 on Tuesday. Then Wednesday it goes up much more to a high of 93 and a low of 74. Then on Thursday, the heat continues with a high of 95 and a low of 72. And then on Friday, it starts to dwindle with a high of 90 and a low of 67. Again, standard temperatures for summer in Michigan. But first, word from our sponsors.
Not a lot of variation in that 5-day forecast. It is going to be sunny and hot. For sure. Okay. But what you don't want to do when it's sunny and hot is clean. So you should call Complete Care Concierge, the fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service serving all of West Michigan. Complete Care Concierge has you covered. 616-264-1397. And here's a word from our other sponsor.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
And thanks again to our sponsors. And for the daily high temperatures across the state for today, we have 80s along the Lake Michigan coast, 81 in Grand Rapids, 80 in Detroit, 79 in Traverse City, 78 near the top of the Lower Peninsula, mid 70s across the Upper Peninsula, and again, could be worse. And going into Tuesday, it goes up with temperatures at 82 around lower Michigan, 81 in Detroit, 84 in Traverse City, and almost in the 80s to going into the 80s across Upper Peninsula with 78 in Sault Ste. Marie, 80 along the Lake Superior coastline. Again, toasty, but could be worse. And for the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, even more of the continental US is above. Michigan will be above, but not quite as pronounced as in the central US. You have your Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, all very above. And most of the country will be above, save for New England to near normal, Oregon, Washington coast near normal. And for the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, Michigan and most of the country will be near normal, with the exception of the western Upper Peninsula, which will be slightly above average. The western US has a bit of below average and a bit above in the southern Atlantic coast. And so for more about today, here is Michelle to join me.
So let's talk about some July 21 weather records. The hottest ever in Grand Rapids was 104 degrees in 1934 on July 21. The lowest temperature ever was only a decade later in 1944 when it got down to 43 degrees. And the most precipitation ever was 2.4 inches in 1907.
Quite
All
the
right.
variation.
This is the part where I get to quiz the host. So we're going to see what Alex knows about notable events on July 21. All right, Alex, you ready?
Yep.
All right, here's your first one. This American actor was born on July 21, 1951. He won an Academy Award for his role in Good Will Hunting. He was also nominated for Dead Poets Society, Good Morning Vietnam, and The Fisher King. Other notable roles are Patch Adams, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Aladdin.
That's unmistakably Robin Williams.
Very good. Alex, what is
Doubtfire and Aladdin are the ones I'm most familiar with.
I think Aladdin came out when I was in middle school.
Wow.
Something like that. I remember it scared me. What is your favorite Robin Williams role?
By virtue of familiarity, I'd say either Teddy Roosevelt in Night at the Museum or the Genie in Aladdin.
The Genie was brilliant. Well, they were all brilliant, but I would say Patch Adams was really good and Dead Poets Society was really good.
I have not seen either of those.
Oh, yeah? Well, we'll have to work on that. All right. Alex knows a lot about politics and U.S. history. Fun fact, this is true. He passed the AP government exam without ever taking the class. So let's start off. July 21, 1988, this governor of Massachusetts accepted the Democratic nomination for U.S. president. He lost the election to George H.W. Bush.
That is Michael Dukakis.
And I think I was 6 years old. I might have been in first grade when that happened. Alex, what is the first presidential election that you remember?
I vaguely recall bits and pieces of 2004, even though I was like one, but 2008 more consistently. It was called fairly quick for Obama, from what I remember.
And your bonus question, who was Michael Dukakis' running mate for the 1988 U.S. presidential election?
Lloyd Benston, famous for calling out Dan Quayle's at the vice presidential debate by saying, "Senator, you are no Jack Kennedy."
What did he mean by that?
Quayle had made some comparison of himself to Kennedy, and he was not having that. He then said, "Senator, I've worked on Kennedy and served with John Kennedy. Senator, you are no John Kennedy."
Wow, that's cold. All right, July 21, 2024. 1 year ago today, Joe Biden announced his departure from the 2024 election. 7 US presidents could have run for re-election, but chose not to. That's a lot higher number than I would have thought. Alex, who are they?
Well, first off, everyone before the 22nd Amendment could have, because that's what firmly set the term limit to 2 terms. But these would be, of course, in reverse order.
Okay.
Joe Biden,
Yep.
Lyndon Johnson, Truman, because he was, I believe, grandfathered in.
I think
Then
you're right so
before
far,
that,
but I don't remember.
Coolidge,
Coolidge, okay.
before that, Arthur, Hayes, and finally, Pierce, I want to say.
All right, let's see how we did. You did really good. This is the list that I came up with, and maybe I didn't word the question well. Biden, Johnson, Truman, Coolidge, Hayes, yeah, Buchanan, and Polk.
Hmm.
Does that sound correct, or do you have criticism for my list?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so
And
7.
again, the only thing I'd say is that, again, before the 22nd Amendment, theoretically anyone could have ran for re-election indefinitely, and some, for instance, Theodore Roosevelt did.
So when was the 22nd Amendment passed?
I believe it was sometime in the Truman administration when Franklin Roosevelt broke from tradition and won 4 times and then died a few months into term 4. And
So he
famously, the Whig Party did support a limit of 1 term all the way back when they existed, and then, as irony would have it, both elected Whigs died in office.
Who was the other one?
The other one who what?
Who were the Whigs that died in office?
William Henry Harrison and Zachary Taylor.
All right. All right. In 1994, this British politician was declared the leader of the British Labour Party. It paved the way for him to become Prime Minister in 1997.
That would be Tony Blair.
Very good. So that was a major election that got him on his way in his political career. And on this day in 2017, this Canadian pop star was banned from performing in China for bad behavior. But never say never. There would be one less lonely girl if he sang there one time.
Bieber.
Of course, Justin Bieber, banned from singing in China on this day in 2017.
Another one of many celebrities who got famous young and got messed up because of it.
On this day in 2007, the final book of the Harry Potter series was published. It sold 11 million copies in 24 hours. What was the book? And I don't remember you reading the Harry Potter series, so let's see what your Harry Potter knowledge is.
It would be the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Correct. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows on this day in 2007. All right, and we've got a photo from John Meppelink. Beautiful day on the golf course with some clouds. Looks like a
nice
beautiful
picture.
place to be. Yeah. And another beautiful picture of the sky from John Doherty and the sun shining bright through the clouds there. And oh dear, here's some deer from John Scully in Muskegon. And we do have deer here in Alabama as well, but not as many, but we still do see them.
They're always fun to deal with. And we thank all three for their photos.
Yes, and if you would like to send a photo, we would love to put it on the show. bill@billsteffen.com.
And that's the show. And we thank you all for coming for my second full hosting job. And thanks again. Subscribe if you can. It's free and helps us. And stay safe and have a wonderful day.